following video shows my personal workout regimen as I developed it over the years and as I've been doing it roughly 3 times a week during the winter of 2019-2020. This video is meant for information purposes only. Do not try to do what I'm doing in this video unless you have sufficient experience in doing calisthenics workout. This workout focuses primarily on strengthening the core. Unless you already have well-developed core muscles, you can get hurt seriously when trying to replicate what I do here, so be careful. I exercise other parts of the body not addressed in this particular regimen, such as legs and arms, biceps, using different exercises at different days and times of the day, such as going to spinning classes during the winter or riding my bicycle outdoors during the summer, and using my triple door gym for doing various kinds of pull-ups, narrow, wide, inverted. Now enjoy the show. This video shows my workout routine as I am doing it roughly 3 times a week, usually Monday, Wednesday and Friday, since late last year. I started out with warming up on the rowing machine that we bought in October 2019, for the simple reason that actually my wife hasn't set foot into a gym since our daughter was born 15 years ago. And the reason for that being primarily that she has no time between career and family to go to the gym on top of it. So we decided to bring the gym to her, or to us in that case. And the best way of doing it is having a rowing machine, which is the best overall workout you can do, because there's hardly any muscle in the body that you don't use doing that exercise. In this case, I actually row for 3 minutes just to warm up, since it warms up pretty much all the muscles in the body. Now, I'm not having the perfect form there, because on the way back, on the way forward, actually, I hesitate a little bit too much to straighten out my arms. So if I were in an actual boat doing this, I would drag the oars through the water on the way back, and the boat wouldn't go anywhere. But I haven't been in a boat doing actually rowing for 20 years, 21 years now, so that's why that doesn't look all that good. But it's good enough. I mean, I get the arms out of the way before the knees get up, and so that's good enough. Once that's over, showing a little bit of the values I have on the monitor. But for now, we just have to wait out those 3 minutes. Now the background you see there is our basement. It's an unfinished basement, and our house is 95 years old, so there's some plaster falling off the walls. It's not in the best shape, but it's alright. On days where I don't do my calisthenics, I use the rowing machine at times to do longer workouts at 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on the time I have, the shape I am in. And when doing that, I'm not actually pulling quite as hard and fast as I do here. Just in a few seconds we see the values. 3 minutes are over. I go to the camera, grab the camera. And there's the value. So we have roughly 3 minutes, an average 30 strokes a minute, burn 57 calories, and that amounts to roughly 1,140 calories per hour. So cut, going upstairs. The next thing I do after warming up is doing dips on the bench. I'll increase the light here to have a better recording quality. So one of the muscles you don't actually train on a rowing machine are the triceps. They have nothing to do. So that's what I do next because they are cold. And then at full dips, of course, only part of the body weight. And in between, I do 8 dips, and then I overextend my shoulders upward. It's a shoulder strengthening exercise. I actually had some 16 years ago, I had a ligament in my left shoulder tear from overdoing dips. I have to be a little careful. If I do dips with my full body weight, I hear it cracking my left shoulder, and I fear that that ligament may tear again. So I'm not doing full weight dips. I'm just doing a lot of those partial ones, which is more of a aerobic exercise for the triceps than an aerobic high load exercise. I do 20 sets of 8 of these dips each, and in between, for the same length, 4 breaths long, I push the shoulders as high as possible and get myself a little bit out of balance by rocking or rotating forth and back. It's soon going to be over, and we'll have a cut there. I actually have to move some furniture out of the way so that I can record what I'm doing. As an armchair and hassock and whatever else is in the way would prevent me from recording it. And after that's done, I also take my sneakers off. I get on a mat down on the floor and do a number of exercises. So the first thing I do there is side planks, 20 of them. It's usually a repetition that I do, or strive to do, 20 on each side. The pattern of my workout is usually I do some kind of a plank followed up with some kind of abs exercise, and after that do some kind of back exercise to balance out the stress on the spine and on the abs. The abs exercise that come now, they are taking up 7 minutes actually. So it's in the aerobics area of exercise. It's pretty intense. I've become accustomed to doing this ever since I started doing them intensely in the year starting 2005, 2006. Now that's interrupted actually by my puppy coming downstairs and wanting to go pee. As you can see in the background is the clock. It shows you what time it is. Dark out, it's in the morning. Usually I get up around 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later. That day I was up rather early. So cut, dog was out, and she'll run into the picture in a few seconds. So I start over actually. I've done, I think, 2 repetitions there. I do 20 all in all, and I start over, so it's 20 more. There's the doggy, that's Daisy. And she's a mix between a Italian Greyhound and a beagle. That gives her a nice fur color and the floppy ears. But her character is all Italian Greyhound, Dwarf Greyhound. Stretching out the abs. Now comes a partial bridge. With one leg stretched out and rocking, which puts a pretty heavy load on the other leg, on the lower back muscles and your butt muscles. Now this is just arching the bridge as much as possible, and I'm rocking a little bit up and down. I should try to rock always up to extend it as much as possible. That also works a little bit of the legs, your buttock, and the lower back primarily. So now comes the first set of straight planks with a slight modification because there's steppers, step up and down. It works a little bit the triceps, but not too much. It's primarily in order to get you out of balance, so it strengthens the core a little more than a static plank. 20 of those. For the next abs exercise, I actually use resistant bands. That is from the heavy set of bands. It's the heavy plus the light one. So black and red. So sit up diagonally, touching with one elbow the knee of the opposite side. And always go all the way back with your head down to the mat. Of those, so 20 each side. I notice that I don't grab my neck or my head with my hands because you have the tendency of ripping your head and your neck, and it can cause neck problems in the long run. So I actually grab my earlobes there, or my ears. In case I pull those, it's not a big deal. That's one more set of those bridge exercises. Now comes the next set of planks. So just diagonally on one foot and one elbow. 20 of those. Now the next ab exercise I'll do here are leg ups with a twist in several regards. So you start the leg ups, twist it on the side, straighten it out, and then you go up and twist that one too. You do 20 of those. You never get the legs on the ground actually. So now after the 20 set of these, so that it's not too easy, we do, or I do, I should say. After that I do 20 straight leg ups, trying to keep the back completely flat on the ground. So 20 of these straight leg ups with the back always flat on the ground. Sometimes actually I like to pull up my shirt a little bit because the naked back on the ground, if you have air underneath your back and you lower it again, it makes a farting noise, and then you know you did arch your back, not good. So you need to prevent any kind of back farting there. That works only if you pull the shirt up a little. It's a good indicator to check yourself that you really have the back flat on the ground at all times. That's the nice thing about these rubber mats. Now comes a back exercise, meaning Superman or swimming, whatever. It's kind of a swimming move where you raise and lower opposing limbs. And I do that 10 breathing rhythms, which is 6 of these movements actually per breath I take. One set of that, followed by a set of straight Superman, arms up and legs up, just as well, 10 breaths long. Then another one of those swimming moves and another one of the Superman. Now come good old boring push-ups. We'll do them on knuckles, as you can see, because if you do them on flat hands, you get problems with your wrist if you do a lot of them over the years. And I had my wrist inflammations because of an overload. So I started doing them on the wrist. The advantage is that you are 2 to 3 inches higher than you are when you do it on a flat hand. So that increases the range and thus the workout you get out of it. 20 of those. I do them in variations. Sometimes I do jumping push-ups and explosive push-ups, meaning you go up so fast that you lift off. On the jumping one, you jump out of this position into a squatting position and then jump up in the air. But you usually don't get 20 done because it's just cardiovascular work. It's very intense. Right now I'm at 12 or 14 of these jumping push-ups. Now comes the next intense lateral workout. That's lateral sit-ups. And there is kind of a pyramid repetition pattern. So I start with 1, then 2, 3, 4 breaths long, 5, 6, 7, up to 10 breaths long, and then I go down again, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1, and then the other side. So another Superman and swimming back workout. Now using the resistant bands, I do some leg workouts. So this is good for your buttocks and for the rear part of your thighs. I think I'm currently up on 16 with that, still working. I'm trying to get that to 20. I use the same resistant band to do abductor work. The next plank is mountain climber, and in that case I do 20 each side, so 40 all in all. I think I had the miscount in there. If you count it, I think it's only 39. Be that as it may, the resistance bands I use there again is the black and the red one, so light plus heavy. abs, this time the scissors, and they come with a twist for the first set of 20, so that you work your obliques, your laterals a little there. And again, we don't want to make it too easy on us, so after the 20 laterals come an additional 20 just straight. So we have a combined plank and back muscle. That is an inverted plank, 20 breaths long. And after that we get into a normal plank. It's a lateral one, not the complete lateral that we had at the beginning, but one that actually moves. To stand on 3 limbs as 1 elbow and 2 feet, and the other arm moves about together with the entire upper body. 20 each side. Here we have the last abs workout for the morning. I use a resistant band on my feet there just to make sure that the feet stay together. And also you tend to cheat by getting one of the legs down so you can use its inertia coming up to jackknife easier. And also you see that I keep my arms forward. I don't take them back because then again you could use the inertia of the arms coming forward to help you jackknife up, which you shouldn't do. It's cheating. Notice that the head always goes down to the mat, so we go the whole way. I do 20 each side, so 40 total. And that is then followed again by a set of inverted planks, 20 breaths long. Now comes a particular abductor exercise that actually lifts one leg up and pushes it backward, which is very intense on your buttocks, on your outer buttocks. And the lower back, it's a muscle that frequently, when you work out intensely, your core can cause lower back pain when it's overworked. But using that exercise actually kind of prevents it and keeps that part of your core strong and well toned. May not look like much, but if you hold it there and do 10-12 repetitions, it really starts to burn in your buttocks. So using the light resistance band, this is an adductor exercise supposed to be used to pull your leg toward you. That's a little bit difficult to simulate in a calisthenic resistance band only setup. Can't remember how much I do there. I think 14. This is now the pure oblique. Twisting your core. So legs up and you lower them to either side. Before I do it, I loosen up my spine. Notice that on the side where you lower your leg, you should get your arm close to you so that you don't use your stretch out arm to actually help you get those legs stabilized and back up. That's work that should be done by the core, by your obliques, and not by your arm. The other arm goes out just to balance the weight of the legs a little bit. So that's tricep works there again. That's basically lifting weight overhead. That's what that simulates. I don't have any barbells right now, or dumbbells. Since I do not have any dumbbells right now, that's the exercise I use, and I've actually ordered some. Maybe in a few weeks I can use also just some simple dumbbells to lift overhead. But this is a preparation workout to actually get to the position where you can push yourself out of a headstand into a handstand. And truth told, I've not tried that for years, so I don't know where I am with that. But with my problem in my left shoulder with a torn ligament of yore, I'm very careful with what I'm doing with my shoulders and my triceps. So at the end of it comes some shoulder stabilization and combined core workout, a plank that is close to the super plank, so you stretch all of your body and the arms forward. First time around I have 20 breaths long. I do 4 sets of them. The second is going to be 16 breaths long. The third I think I cave in at 12, or no, not cave in, but I stop at 12. And the last one I go again up to almost 12 I think. And then I lower myself in a very controlled fashion all the way down to the floor. Now I've tried that also, doing that on my toes rather than my knees. The problem then is that the feet and the hands start slipping on the underground, on the surface I have there. So it's not stable. I can't stabilize my feet against the radiator you see in the background, but still the hands will slide. So I need some more grippy surface to be able to do that. So for now, I just do them on the knees. It's a pretty heavy load on your shoulders, apart from the core. So there I go, lowering myself very slowly and in a controlled fashion down to the floor. And that's the end of my workout. And after that I do some stretching. And that's it. So the net workout time is something like an hour and 15 minutes. Well, with all the setup I have to do and going up downstairs to the rowing machine and so forth, it may amount to an hour and a half with interruptions caused by the doggy or whatever else there might be. And that's what I do 3 times a week, more or less, and have been doing in a similar fashion pretty much for the past 15 years, on and off.